the man came home and realized the wife who'd been with him for 7 years was gone. He grabbed his phone and called her, but the ringtone was coming from the fish tank. And that wasn't all. A divorce agreement was sitting right there on the coffee table. And that is when he panicked. He rushed upstairs. The closet was empty. The vanity was empty. Everything that belonged to his wife was gone, but he didn't know. 3 months earlier, his wife almost died in the mountains. That day, the two of them were supposed to go deep into the mountains to see the northern lights. She spent 3 months planning the trip. The luggage was packed days before they left, but on the day they were supposed to go, he got a phone call. It was from the woman he never got over, his first love. She said she had been kidnapped. Without even thinking, he turned around and left, only leaving one sentence behind: "Go by yourself." He walked away without looking back. 2 days later, she drove into the mountains alone, but right after she reached halfway up the mountain, an earthquake hit. The ground collapsed. Huge rocks came crashing down. She was trapped under the rubble. Both of her legs were injured, and her phone was almost out of battery. With whatever strength she had left, she sent her husband a rescue message, but at that exact moment, he was at the hospital cutting apples for his first love. The woman saw the emergency message on his phone. With one swipe, she deleted it. The man asked, "Who was that?" She smiled and said, "Just spam." Then she picked up his phone and replied using his account, "Come back when you're done playing around." Under the rubble, his wife stared at those words. Tears rolled down her face, because right then, fighting for her life, she finally realized, in his eyes, her desperate call for help was just another tantrum. She slowly turned off her phone, closed her eyes, and gave up. 5 days later, she finally woke up. The person who saved her was a doctor named Ethan. He told her, "When I found you, you were already in shock. If I arrived half an hour later, you wouldn't have made it." For those 5 days, the whole world was searching for her. The news reported her disappearance for 3 days straight, but the one person who never sent her a single message was her husband. He stayed by his first love side the entire time. He didn't even know what she had gone through. The day she was discharged, the first thing she did was call a lawyer. She only said one sentence: "I want a divorce." After that, she went to see a therapist. The doctor told her she was suffering from PTSD, and she would need long-term treatment. Half a month later, the man finally remembered. He still had a wife. He came home with a cake. His first love had picked it out. He was gonna throw out a quick apology and act like everything was fine. But when he opened the door, the woman sitting there felt like a stranger. She sat on the couch. Her eyes were cold. He asked her to try the cake, but he forgot. She was allergic to nuts. She just looked at him and said, "Ryan, let's get divorced." Ryan laughed. To him, this was just another little mood swing. A week later, at their class reunion, Ryan deliberately showed up with his first love. He wanted his wife to see who was standing beside him now. He wrapped his arm around the woman and announced in front of everyone, "This is my girlfriend." Then he looked at his wife, waiting for her to break down, but the next second he froze, because she looked completely calm, like everything happening in front of her had nothing to do with her. The party started playing games. The loser had to accept a punishment. Ryan intentionally lost, letting his first love kiss him. Then he looked at his wife, waiting to see her get jealous, but she simply took out her phone and started recording them like she was watching a show. Ryan completely lost control. He pulled his first love close and started kissing her in front of everyone, but his wife didn't even react. She was laughing and talking with Ethan, the doctor who saved her, not caring about him at all. Ryan pointed at them and said, "You two want to try eating a cookie mouth to mouth?" He was sure she would refuse, but she only replied calmly, "Sure." The next second, she picked up the cookie and brought it toward Ethan's mouth. The two of them moved closer and closer. They were almost touching. Ryan stepped in and stopped it. Then he grabbed his wife by the arm and pulled her aside. "What is going on with you two?" Just then, the door was suddenly kicked open. A strange man rushed inside. Pointing at Ryan's first love, he shouted, "She is a liar." The man pulled out a photo. The woman in the picture was his wife. It was Olivia, and the groom in that photo was the man standing in front of them. He had come to find his wife. Everyone was shocked, because all of it was fake. Her depression, her trip overseas for treatment, even her kidnapping, all of it was a lie. She approached Ryan from the very beginning because of his money. Ryan stood there, his face slowly turned pale. The woman he had protected for 7 years was actually a complete fraud. In the chaos, the man suddenly pulled out a knife and rushed toward Olivia. Olivia screamed, but instead of protecting herself, she grabbed Ryan's wife and pulled her in front of her. The knife was about to hit, but Ethan rushed over and blocked it with his arm. Blood instantly soaked through his white shirt. Ryan stood frozen. He watched his wife calmly wrap Ethan's wound and call for an ambulance. The whole time, she never looked at him once. At that moment, Ryan finally understood what he'd thrown away. But was it too late? Because he didn't know, his wife was still hiding a secret that could make him lose everything.